Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza Horizon 2 with another rally car build. My vehicle today has suddenly got very dark. I've got a Land Rover Defender. People wanted to see how this do, and I'm kind of curious to see how this one fares. It is the perfect shape for rolling over, so I would not at all be surprised for this to end up on its roof at some point. There is plenty of room for upgrades though, so much like we had with the Cadillac Escalade, you can get up, I would expect, a hell of a lot of power into this car while keeping it in S1 class. The rules for the series though, the vehicle must be four-wheel drive. Well, it starts off at that, so we don't need to worry about converting it. We must have the off-road tyres, we must have the off-road suspension and off-road gearbox. Gearbox should give me some sensible gear ratios for the circuit that we were driving around. Suspension, well, it's normally to help deal with the bumps. Let's face it, this is going to be pretty... actually does raise it up ever so slightly. And this should deal with the off-roady bits, no problem. It's a Defender, for Christ's sake. It should deal with off-road bits, no problems. Rest of the parts are up to me to get it into S1 class. Now, weight-wise, we might not be too bad, actually. £3,100, that's not too bad for weight. Admittedly, I'm probably going to want a roll cage in this car. That's probably going to be quite useful with something that wasn't really designed as a racing vehicle, let's be honest. We are going to have to get the roll cage. Now, tyres. How are we doing tyre width wise? Can we have some decent tyres? This could be a concern. Ooh, we can have some decent tyres. 305s. That's not too bad. I mean, of course, I would always like bigger and bigger tyres, but 305s are not too bad. There'll be 305s at the front as well. Okay, that's looking promising to a point. Aero parts. Oh, can we have some cool... Yes, we can have some cool aero bits on the... It's just... You've given the Land Rover a moustache with... That's fantastic. I kind of want to run with sort of proper off-roady bits, but I kind of like the moustache as well. I can't decide now. What one? It's got to be the moustache. It's got to be done. That is fantastic. We will have the sort of the proper Forza rear aero. Have we got any other cool bits that we can stick on here? It's just I'm not quite sure why that's raising the PI. Maybe I guess it's technically giving it less drag. Bugger it. Never mind. I want the cool sort of off-roady parts on my vehicle. Shall we go for steps or shall we go for? Sure, we'll go with... So that's adding drag. Okay, so that's now dropping the PI down. That can be quite useful. Ooh, we have all of the options as far as the bonnet goes. Can we have... Ah, yes, fantastic. We can have... Oh, if I can... Can I get you to zoom out, Kara? There we go. We can have all of the off-road. We can have the bucket on the top. I mean, again, yes, it is adding weight. It does drop the PI down. As cool as that is a bit too much weight, I think, for... screw it, we're going to go with it. I'll drop the weight out another way. The PI is worked out as lowering the PI, so I have more bits to add parts onto. Right, engine swap. Unfortunately, it's not going to work with the standard engine. We're going to have to go for the 6.2 litre V8, which is yeah, pretty damn powerful. Certainly, we can get lots of horsepower out of that engine, which is good. Of course, comes with four-wheel drive. Oh, we may want to put some turbos on. Let's just see. Yeah, turbos may be a good idea. Sure. We have now made it a bit heavier. I think that engine was heavier as well. It's a bit on the heavier side. We will now go and drop some more weight out of it with these parts. We're going to have quite a lot of power in this. It may not be quite as powerful as the Escalade. Have I gone through all of these bits? I don't think so yet. I will. Actually, we'll come back to them at the end, because when you need to find like 1 or 2 PI, it's kind of useful having them still available to stick on it. It's not quite going to have the same 800 horsepower as the Escalade, but it is going to be considerably lighter. So we have that going for it, and it is only at the moment halfway through S1, and we can just keep sticking on these parts and keep trying to have the power creep up. Right, so let's get the other valves on. I'm trying to use all of the ones that reduce the weight while I'm here going through these. That one there will do, up to 628 horsepower. Not too shabby at all. We could go straight for that. We could get 688. There's a lot of power in this potentially. Now again up to 650 and decent torque figures as well coming out of this vehicle. That's going to all be too much. Bugger. Crap. Now we've got to balance these parts here. That's going to shoot the... Okay, it adds on 41 horsepower. It does add on some weight, but bugger it, I'm going for 41 horsepower. 690 horsepower in my Land Rover. That's a lot of power in this vehicle. Right, drive line dropped out sort of 25 pounds, sticking a clutch, and there we go. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit on the heavier side, but we're sort of adding on the silly roll cage and the other bits around it. I have managed to get a lot more power out of it, so I'll take it. And we have a moustache, which is fantastic. I was meant to see if I could get a flywheel on. Can we sneak a flywheel in? Oh, we can. Fantastic. Yep, that'll do. That will do nicely. So, power-wise, from this vehicle, almost 700 torque, almost 700 horsepower, 3,300 pounds. That's not bad. That is not bad at all, power to weight ratio. Of course, the fear here is the handling. How on earth is a Land Rover going to handle? It's got a short wheelbase, it's very tall. God, I'm quite scared. I will be honest, I am quite terrified of driving this car around our usual test track. Once we get back out of the menus, we shall be going to the Forest Brawl circuit, where I have got 5 laps to go as fast as possible. The current leader around this track is a Ferrari F40, and I have a sneaking suspicion we won't be going in a 59.2. I very, very highly doubt the Land Rover will be that quick. The fastest SUV, though, a Porsche Macan, 1 minute 0.3. That may be potentially possible in the Land Rover. I quite like the power to weight ratio that we've got going on here, and decent sized tyres. Maybe we could see the Defender become the fastest SUV. That is asking a lot, though. The next SUV down from this one is a Cadillac Escalade, like a 1 minute 0.1. Again, that's perhaps a slightly more sensible target for the Defender, because the Macan was a really very, very good handling vehicle. But the Defender, though, so far has not been too bad. Quite impressed with the Defender, actually. Can we... Whoa, look at the bounce. That's not what we want. We've got a mile of understeer. That is an awful lot of understeer going on there. Okay, not quite what I expected. The bouncing could be a bit of an issue. We're too woo. Yeah, it's sort of too high, too soft, and it's just doing all sorts of interesting things over the bumps, and we've clipped the wall on the outside. Okay. Oh, and then we've got big slide out of the final turn. It's not terrible. So far, it's like the handling isn't terrible. It lands that jump there, absolutely lovely. How do we do straight line speed wise? Can we crack 130 in this? I'm hoping we can. Yeah, 132. Oh, brakes are pretty good as well, actually. It gets stopped quicker than I was perhaps expecting it to be doing. Or can we carry any speed? We can carry half decent speed. It's less slidey than the Duke, that is for sure. Around here, much less oversteery than the Duke. It's not as quick as some of the cars, certainly. It's a whoa! That bouncing, the bouncing is impressive. Whoa! Careful now, careful now. There we go. The bouncing is amazing on this thing. It just wants to spring back up into the air. Oh, that was a slightly poor line to be taking through there. All right, slow it down into this final turn, and then go on, Land Rover. It's okay. It's just not quite. It's not quite got the cornering speed, and you've got to be so careful with these landings of the jump. That one there is okay, because it's such a big jump, and you just worry about sort of straight run after the jump. It's not a problem. But the other ones are a little bit problematic. Come on, Land Rover. Let's see if we can get it under the 1 minute 0.1s. I think it probably can do it. I mean, there is decent enough grip through here. I mean, that's still 90 miles an hour through them turns, which is, let's face it, a lot for a Land Rover. This is going up against sports cars and supercars and so on. And it does remarkably well there. That's just such a problem through there. I can't get any speed out of it for that corner. Whether it could take 100 miles an hour around that corner, I never know, because I can't cope with it bouncing around all over the place. Right, and again up here, I mean, that's almost 100 miles an hour through that turn. That's pretty damn good. I mean, that's doing it almost as well as the sports cars and so on through that particular turn. It doesn't feel like a big, heavy SUV. I may have completely fudged up the gear change there. Yeah, it doesn't feel like a big, heavy SUV around the course. It's just the the bouncing on one of the landings there, that it's just completely and utterly ruins that section of track. Okay, couple more laps to go. Can we? I can't be flat out down here. I have to have a little. I have to have a little lift. Just don't quite trust the car. You know, still pretty impressive speeds, and it's quite nice and controlled around these turns. It's not quite as quick as some, but it is controllable around them. Can we stop doing with the back end going up in the air, please? That would be really appreciated. It's only that one place. Everywhere else it's okay. It's just obviously the way that the course is and the way that this vehicle drives. Oh, we're on two wheels. Don't back off, just keep it blind through there. That was a slightly scary moment. Come on, it's just not quite got the straight line speed either. Not quite got the acceleration. Again, it's a similar problem we've had with multiple SUVs. These things tend to be just a little bit too heavy, and even though 1 minute 1.1, even though it's decent enough power to weight ratio, it's not sort of quite a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, and so on. Right, carefully does it down here. I think the gear ratios, despite with the rally gearbox, the gear ratios in this one here are also quite long, which probably aren't helping it too much. We're fighting a little bit through that turn now. Please be nice. No, it's just such a weird thing for the car to do. See, it's lovely through there. Why is it there's just that one place? The next jump I'm absolutely fine through. And again, we're fine down here, provided I don't tip it in too soon again. That's 103. Wow, 103 miles an hour through there in a Land Rover. That's remarkable. There is a lot of cornering grip. This is actually on for quite a quick lap. There is a lot of cornering grip in this car. I'm impressed with the amount of speed I can take through some of these turns across the line. A 1 minute .1. Bloody hell. Holy crap. The Land Rover Defender goes into 12th place. It beats the TVR Sagaris. The Sagaris that led the leaderboard for quite some time has been displaced by a Land Rover Defender that does an endo every lap at the same corner. Wow. This is a seriously impressive vehicle, I have to say. I'm really astounded with just how well it drives. You don't know that it's a Land Rover. Aside from sort of the driving position, it doesn't feel like a Land Rover. When you're taking some of these corners, 103 of that second to last corner is immense. That's incredible. If it didn't have so many problems at that first jump, easily into the 59s. It hasn't got the straight line speed either. It was just about getting 130. I am astounded by this vehicle. It's the Land Rover is seriously impressive. Yeah, a 1 minute .162 puts it into the 12th place, beating a Sagaris, a Mazda MX-5, Porsche 914, Ford GT40. I am astounded. It is the fastest SUV, quicker than the Macan by about 0.2 of a second. I didn't expect it to be quite this fast. That's really very impressive from the Defender here. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.